Hello, my name is Yulia Stadnichuk, and I'm the official spokesperson of a newly created public movement, Keep Your Ballot Paper in Russian Federation. Now I would like to present our movement, its aims, and the history and why it is so important for us, for the nation of the Russian Federation, to keep their ballot papers during the coming elections of the presidents of Russian Federation. Probably you know that the situation before the election right now is totally undemocratic. We do not have any true opposition to the President of the Russian Federation, and nobody, no politician truly believes that there is any competition during these elections. And this is actually the violation of our rights, of our political rights, of the citizens of the Russian Federation, as we do not have any choice, no matter if you vote for the President Putin or you vote for somebody else. You cannot actually oppose him in any way. And at the same time, there is no legal opportunity to vote against everybody during this election. This column has been cancelled back in 2006. And there is no minimal appearance during the election, unfortunately. It has also been cancelled back in 2006. So the citizens of the Russian Federation are actually forced to vote for somebody who cannot oppose the President of the Russian Federation, and we know that the President will be Putin most likely. So what can we do, we, the people of the Russian Federation? How can we keep the power which is granted by the Constitution? And Article 3 of the Constitution stipulates that we, the nation of the Russian Federation, we are the source of power and we are the sovereign of the country. So we actually find that the only way for us is to keep our ballot papers. It is still legal because we directly choose the president during the election. We vote for somebody, and if we do not vote, we keep our ballot papers, which is a document with 3 levels of security. We keep our powers to ourselves. Let me give you some history of our movement and my personal experience. Our movement has been created with the blessing of Father Afanasius, monk of Saint Mount Athos, and the most active people of our movement are those who were the readers of monk Afanasius' life journal. He described the situation in Russian Federation there, the political powers, and he had his own and true view at what is happening in the Russian Federation. And that is how I found him, and I got in touch with him. I started reading his life book and trying to understand what is going on in my country. And starting our political activities with his blessing, we started in summer 2017, starting with municipal election, in order to see how this electional system works, how the election law works. Is it really true that any person can, who has the right to elect and be elected, can really take part in this election run and run for any position, or municipal deputy or a president or some other election position which is elected? So I took part in municipal election in Moscow to see how it works and if it is really possible, what political powers are there, and if it is really feasible or not to become the municipal deputy. And further on, in autumn 2017, I ran for president with the blessing of Father Athanasius. Because it was quite obvious that when Ksenia Sobchak took part in this election, she does not have any political experience, she is not a politician, she does not have any respect and support among the Russian nation, which is actually obvious for any person who is in Russia, who knows the people in Russia, not only in Moscow but in other cities. And it became actually obvious at this moment, this is not an election, this is a kind of show, it's kind of circus entertainment. So I took part in this election, I ran for president in order to see whether it is true for any person to become elected as president without any financial support or any administrational support, which turned out to be most important. So personally, I started with getting all the documents, all the signs and other papers needed, and faced the situation that is almost impossible for you to become a candidate for presidential position, because even if you have enough money to support everything, because not any notary will verify your papers. It is not that easy to find a place where you can do this. It is not that easy to do this when you have 20 days and 10 of these days are actually state holidays. So it turned out that in case you can do this and you have enough money to do this, you actually face a situation when this administrational support becomes most important. You may have prepare all the documents and you may pass them to the Central Election Committee, but they may find some minor mistakes, and these mistakes might be the reason to stop you and to not grant you the status of a candidate. Even if you sue them and you go to court and you win this case, even in this case it happens after the election and you do not take part in this election anymore. So it turned out that not anybody can take part in this election, not any person. This person should have not only financial support but actually administration support, very serious administrational support. Not to mention that you have to get 300,000 signs for you. Can you imagine how much time it takes if you don't have money to pay all these people who are gathering these signs and papers, checking them, checking all the details, all the lawyers, all the people who are actually putting this together, transporting them to Moscow, checking it in Moscow, packing it, passing it to this Central Election Committee. The time only, it's really time consuming and money consuming. But it turns out that Central Election Committee can check it and say that we see that there are 5 mistakes in your papers, we do not take them. So it turned out that it is not true. The laws we have in Russia are actually discriminating. Our rights, our political rights, are violated by the existing laws. And actually these laws are opposed to the constitution, which grants our the right to elect and be elected. So further on, watching the situation in the electoral campaign, it turned out for us that really this is the only way for us to keep away from this show and not delegate our power, because that is what actually granted by the constitution, that you have your power, and when you take part in the election, when you vote for somebody, you delegate your power to somebody. And then this person starts acting with your permission because you delegated your power to him. And in case you delegate your power to this system, not to the candidate, but to the system who counts the votes, who checks the documents and packs them, signs them, once you delegate your power to them, you don't have, you cannot oppose the system in any way, because how can you prove that you didn't delegate it? And we found that it's still legal in Russia to take away your ballot paper, not to put it in the voting box. So we unfortunately understand that this might be the last election when you can do this, because our head of the Central Election Committee already announced the fact that the electoral law system will be changing, and how we understand, most likely the rights that we have, the right to take away the ballot papers or vote directly for president, it might change. We will not have these rights anymore. So this is the last election when actually we can do this. We checked all the legal system, all the laws which relate to these election and the rights, the human rights, and found that this is totally true. You can take away your ballot paper. There is a Central Election Committee's explanation on this, granting this right to take away the ballot papers. And there are Central Election Committee's explanation on the law of publicity, when it turns out that you can actually capture all what is happening in the polling station during the voting day, because this is your right to capture all the materials and stream it on the internet. So this is what our movement are now doing and preparing, and what our movement is informing people of the Russian Federation about, that you have the only actually way to not to take away these not to take part in this election, not to delegate your vote, not to delegate your power to anybody, is to keep your ballot paper. According to Central Election Committee's spokesperson, we do the ballot papers which are produced in preparation for this election have 3 levels of security. They have special mark, they have with printing on it, they should be specially signed in special way, they have to have a stamp on this specific stamp to prove that this is a true ballot paper. So you cannot actually fraud it. You cannot find any other paper in any other place and say this is a ballot paper. No, this is this ballot paper, you cannot make a copy of it. So this is a true document which you can take away from polling station and prove that you have not delegated your power granted by the Constitution to any of the candidates of this election. We have prepared a detailed instructions, step-by-step instruction, which explains how to behave yourself during this process on the polling station. Because unfortunately we have the experience of taking our ballot papers away from polling stations from back 2012 and 2008, and we know that the local election committees members might oppose you, and they may not be actually aware that this is your right to take away your ballot papers. And even watchers, even those who are watching the election, are watching that the counting of votes is being made correctly, even those may not be aware of the fact that this is your right to take away a ballot paper. So we have prepared a detailed instruction to avoid any conflict, how to avoid any conflict, how to inform the election committee correctly, how to provide all the necessary information to them. We have prepared the papers which you might need to pass to the local election committee's members, and even the information letter in case they do not allow you to make the video shooting during this process in the polling station, which is your right. We have even made this information letter to support the Russian citizens who are planning to take away their votes. And which is more important, this is not the last step of our way. This is only the beginning of the new step. We are planning, and we have conducted a meeting with OSCE and its Human Rights Bureau, Human Rights Watch Bureau yesterday. We are planning to form a group of social group of people who have not delegated their power, who have their constitutional rights and are aiming to protect their rights as some kind of election minorities, and protect their rights not only on Russian level, national level, but also on international level, because we understand that the issue of human rights right now is very important in the international politics, and it's a lot of attention is paid to this. So that is what we are planning to do, to protect our rights and our power, which we will not have delegated to any of the candidates during this election. Because this is not an election, this is a show. We totally agree with some of our democratic opposition politics who say that this is not an election. But we believe that the active way for us to step away from this is to keep our ballot papers and protect our rights further on. And the ballot paper, which any person gets, will be the proof that his authority, his powers are not delegated to any of the candidates to this system. And any further activities made by the Russian president have not actually been granted by us, because we have not delegated our authority. We have not permitted him to make any decision from our side. And our meeting with OSCE yesterday actually included this part of discussion of further activities and further meetings in order to discuss how our rights can be protected. And this is the first steps we are going to make after the election, and we are going to attract as much attention as possible to this to our group of people, to our rights, and to protecting our rights, and having our share in Russians' wealth, which is right now being actually sold. Nobody can sell Russians' territory, but now we see that it's actually being sold. We see that there are some aircraft incidents happening when 9 tons of gold is being falling on the ground. Where does it come from? 9 tons of gold. 9 tons. Where has it come from? Where is it going? Why nobody knows about this? So these are the things we are going to check and to explore and investigate, actually. And we are going to demand to inform us of what is going and making such things public. And this is these are the actually further aims of our movement, which will be definitely transformed to some kind of new social organization. As for me, as I already said, my name is Yulia Stadnichuk, and I have experience of working with state organizations for 5 years, and I have education, and I actually almost graduated from Russian National Economy and Public Administration Academy, Presidential Academy. So I'm the official spokesperson of our movement, but we will try to keep it as democratic as possible in order to avoid some specific personal leadership, to grant all our members, all the members of our movement, the opportunity to have their share of voice and to be as active as possible during our activities. So you might find my contacts attached to my channel information, to this YouTube channel information. So please, we are staying in touch. In case you have any questions, you would like to share any information with us, please don't hesitate to contact me, Twitter, Facebook, or any other social networks. I'm staying in touch with you. Thank you so much. My name is Yulia Stadnichuk, and we'll keep you informed of our further activities. Thank you.